Hey, welcome! So today, we are diving deep into the YouTube Growth Playbook. If you've ever found yourself wondering what it really takes to grow a channel, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to map out the entire journey, from that very first click all the way to building a career that can actually last. And to kick things off, I want to frame this whole thing with a really powerful quote from Sean Cannell over at Think Media. He said, "The number of people with a gold play button are the same number of people that have climbed Mount Everest." Wow, that puts it into perspective, right? This isn't just some casual hobby. For so many, it is a monumental climb. So let's get our gear ready and start this ascent. You know, every single creator dreams of reaching that summit. You can picture it, right? That gold play button waiting at the very top. But before we even take that first step, let's take a hard look at the map. What does this climb actually look like? I mean, in terms of time, effort, all of it. Because it's so easy to see the success stories. But the path itself, it's often incredibly long and super demanding. Okay, so what is the average timeline for this climb? A study put together from interviews with creators who made it gives us a surprisingly real picture. On average, it takes about 13 months just to hit your first 1,000 subscribers. Think about that, over a year. Reaching 10,000, that's typically a 27-month journey. And getting to that 100,000 subscriber milestone, the silver play button, takes an average of 51 months. This is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. Now, we have to talk about a critical detail with this data, something called survivorship bias. See, these numbers, they only come from the channels that actually succeeded, the ones who made it to the summit. It doesn't count the, vast majority of channels that start the climb but just never make it. It's a pretty sobering thought, but it's an absolutely essential piece of context for our expedition. All right, our expedition is planned. Now we need the right tools. And the first one, and you could argue it's the most important one, is your digital billboard. It's all about that first impression. In the massive, endless ocean of YouTube, your thumbnail is your single most important sales pitch. Seriously, it's that billboard on the side of the digital highway. It's your one chance, your one shot to make a viewer stop scrolling and choose your video over the millions of other options out there. And the key metric here is something called the click-through rate, or CTR. It's simple, really. It's just the percentage of people who see your video and then actually click on it. A high CTR is a huge flashing signal to the YouTube algorithm that your billboard is working, that your video is relevant, and that in turn gets it shown to even more people. So, how do you make a thumbnail that actually works? Well, it boils down to 3 core principles. First, you've got to harness emotion. Our brains are literally hardwired to connect with human faces, especially when showing a really clear emotion, like shock or joy. It creates what they call a curiosity gap. Second, maximize your contrast. Use bold colors and big, readable text that can pass the 3-second glance test. And third, have a clear focus. Guide the viewer's eye to 1 or 2 key things. Don't make it a cluttered mess. Okay, great. You've earned the click. So now what? Now you need a compass to navigate the rest of this journey. And that compass is your analytics. So let's look at the 4 key metrics that are going to guide you. First up, it's our old friend, the click-through rate. We already know what it is, but I want you to think of it as the first checkpoint on the trail. It's measuring how appealing your video's packaging, the thumbnail and title combo, is to people. It's the measure of that crucial first impression. So, what do you actually do if your CTR is low? Well, it's a super clear sign that your thumbnail and title just aren't compelling enough. But the good news is, you can fix it. YouTube has a fantastic test and compare feature that lets you experiment with new designs. You can even use it on your older videos to breathe new life into them. Next up, viewer retention. This graph shows you the percentage of your audience that's still watching at every single moment of your video. It's like the ultimate honesty test for your content, because it shows you exactly where people are engaged and where they decide to click away. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say your CTR is high, but your retention is low, especially in that first 30 seconds. That's a classic case of your thumbnail writing a check your video can't cash. It created a false expectation. You have to analyze that graph, look for those steep drop-off points, and use that info to improve your intros and your pacing. You gotta make sure the promise of the billboard matches the experience inside the store. Our third metric is traffic sources. This one is all about the how. How are people finding your videos? Are they typing into YouTube search, clicking on a suggested video on the side, or is it popping up on their homepage? Each one of these sources tells a totally different story about your audience. And here's a pro tip for you. Don't just look at the overall average. That's a rookie mistake. You have to dig into each traffic source individually. A video might have low overall retention because a bunch of external traffic clicked away, but maybe your retention from subscribers or the homepage is fantastic. Diagnosing performance means understanding how these different audiences behave. And finally, my personal favorite metric, videos growing your audience. You'll find this in the Audience tab, and trust me, it's a goldmine. It pinpoints the exact videos that are bringing the most new viewers to your channel. These are your welcome mats. They're your front doors. So what's the game plan here? You look for patterns, find out what your top-performing gateway videos all have in common. Is it a certain topic, a specific format, a particular style? And then you make more content just like that to strategically attract new viewers. It really is all about finding what works and then doubling down on it. We've got our map, we've got our tools. It is time for the final leg of our climb. We're heading to the summit to really redefine what success on YouTube actually looks like. You know, there's this myth on YouTube that subscribers equal views, but the reality is way more complicated. As Sean Cannell points out, a lot of big channels have what he calls fragmented audiences. People subscribe for all kinds of different reasons. One person for a camera review, another for a software tutorial. And what that means is there's often no direct link between your total subscriber count and how many views you get on any single video. Okay, let's talk about the money. This number, $10,500, was the monthly YouTube AdSense revenue for Sean's channel right when it crossed 1 million subscribers. And look, that is a fantastic number, no question, but it is not the whole story, not even close. Because now, look at this number. This was the company's annual top-line revenue. The contrast is just staggering, right? And it reveals the most important secret of the summit. AdSense, while it's great, is often just one small piece of a much, much larger, diversified business that includes things like courses, affiliate marketing, events, and so much more. So, what are the key things you need to pack for your own climb? First, please remember this journey is a marathon, not a sprint. The data proves it. Second, your thumbnail is your single most important asset. It's your digital billboard. Third, your analytics are your compass. You have to learn to read them to navigate the path. And finally, true, sustainable success is about building a diversified business, not just chasing after AdSense. We've laid out the map, we've talked about the timeline, the tools you need, so the only real question left is, with this playbook in your hand, what is your climb going to look like?